What's going on, everyone? My name's Obi and welcome back to Courtside Financial. Today we're going to be talking about a few things about UXIN today. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any videos. And also make sure you hit that like button because it really does go a long way in helping out the channel. Lastly, if you want to be a part of the conversation before it happens here on YouTube, make sure you click that link in the description to join the free Courtside Financial Discord. When you open up your new brokerage account, you'll receive one free stock valued anywhere from $2.50 to $250. And when you make that initial deposit of $100 or more, you'll receive another free stock, and this free stock will be valued anywhere from $8 to $1,600. Lastly, cryptocurrency is now available on WeBull, so you can trade cryptocurrency on the platform with zero commission. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about UXIN. It's currently 3:36 p.m. Central Time here in Texas, and the stock finished the day at $1.50, down 23.86% for the day, and it is up 1% in the after hours. So I really want to talk about three things today. First things first is UXIN had amazing price action last week. The stock reached its 52-week high of $2. So that was a really good run. I don't really care about the price. More so, I care about, as a long-term investor, what's driving the price. And obviously the stock is trading a little bit lower today, but it still has some momentum from the news last week. So what happened, to kind of set the stage, we already know that for UXIN, the biggest risk that they were facing was the company's financial health. We know that China wants to build a $306 billion used car market from scratch by 2025, but does that really matter for UXIN if they go bankrupt? Bankruptcy, all the people who own the debt, own the equity, they pretty much get wiped out. So the news last week was that UXIN entered into an agreement with two established Asian investing firms, and they're in negotiations for talks to be receiving around or up to $300 million worth of capital for the company. UXIN announced that it entered into a binding term sheet with two potential established Asian funds on April 1st, 2021, pursuant to which the potential investors have agreed to negotiate and potentially enter into a definitive agreement with the company for a subscription of senior convertible notes preferred shares. The potential transaction has an aggregate amount of potentially up to $300 million. The completion of the potential transaction is subject to the parties' execution of the definitive agreements and customary closing conditions to be stipulated therein. So this is great news. You think about a company who only had enough cash to make it through about a quarter and some change, and now they're likely to receive funding, which I expected all along. I knew this was going to be a turnaround play. I pretty much said it in the videos that I talked about, but obviously there's always that risk, what if they never did get the funding? But I just felt like the business model was a viable business model. People would want to put dollars behind it and get it to where it's going. And I felt like that just from doing my research and seeing how, in terms of quality, UXIN kind of stacks up against their competitors, especially with that investigation that I did cover on the channel. I think that's like a 20-minute long video. In my opinion, the way I look at it is that UXIN definitely came out on top in that investigation. So the used car industry in China, it's an emerging market. China wants it to be a big market. UXIN seems to be the best player as far as internet car dealers. So like I said, why wouldn't somebody put some dollars behind them? And they also got $25 million from some overseas investors last year, and those investors aren't just lighting their capital on fire, I would assume. But at the same time, there is going to be a little bit of dilution. But would you rather have your company go bankrupt, or would you rather take the dilution so that they could survive? Even with the dilution, the way I saw it was this stock was priced for bankruptcy. I don't think it's going bankrupt. I'm at least going to 2x, 3x, 4x my money over time, over a long period of time, is what I think about this stock. And that's just my personal opinion. It's super important to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. As always, this is not financial advice at all. You should not buy a stock just because I'm buying a stock. But basically, UXIN being in talks of receiving around $300 million in funding, that's a perfect storm for a company in their position, in the position that they were in, to take off. And I believe that the price action was pretty strong. But earnings can change things around, so we'll have to see what happens during earnings to see if it sticks. I think so. I talked about two things. I talked about the huge jump in price last week, and I've talked about them potentially receiving funding. And now there's something else that I want to talk about, the third thing, which is going to be a little bit not so positive. So what's the third thing? In the last video I did on UXIN, I specifically told you guys that I communicated with investor relations. I was inquiring about when their earnings call would be, and they actually told me that it would be in March. I shared the email. I'll share it up here again. Well, it's April 5th. We still don't have any earnings date. And to me, it's not so positive when a company doesn't really communicate about earnings or doesn't say anything about earnings. Is there something to hide? Are things not going as they should? You know, I like the company. I feel like it's improving. I feel like this time around, like it would be better than the last earnings. Now, as an investor, this is just my problem with UXIN. I feel like they need to improve their communication with investors, especially if they're raising money globally. We don't have as much of an idea of what's going on over there in China. And no, this is not a knock to China. My biggest holding is a Chinese company, but you know, as far as their communication, I feel like NIO does a good job keeping me and everyone else up to date. They let us know what's going on. And it kind of feels like we're kind of left in the dark a little bit with this company. And I like the company a lot, but that is one of the qualms that I have with this company. We just need to be kept in the loop a little bit more. Like I said, for NIO, I have nothing bad to say about their investor communication. Now, I'll probably talk about UXIN again this week. I do have some other things that I want to say, some updates that I want to talk about as far as earnings projections, but yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment down below. I always want to know what you guys think. I'll link the free Discord in the description. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.